Alright, we're going to find the derivative using the product rule. And what we have here is when we have a product rule, that's u times v, two distinct expressions multiplied together. We have the power rule. It'll be v times the derivative of u plus u times the derivative of v. We just have to be able to handle the things that we classify as u and v. So first of all, the first example I have here is y equals the quantity 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 all squared times the quantity 5x minus 1 all raised to the fourth. So I'm going to let this first one here, all of it be u, and let's write it here. So u will be, not u prime, just u, will be, still on the eraser, u will be 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 quantity squared. So even though I'm going to use a product rule, I may end up with a chain rule as well. And then v here will be the quantity 5x to negative 1, 5x minus 1 to the fourth. So let's write that out. That'll be my v. I'm going to leave a little bit of room here so I can do derivatives in between. That's 5x minus 1 to the fourth. So kind of going back to the way I handled these with the chain rule section. That's a weird color. So when I go to take derivative of u, 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 squared, I'm going to have a piece in here that I'm going to call u. A little frozen here. There we go. For the chain rule part, not u for the product rule, but the u inside there is 2x squared minus 3x plus 1, and that u prime would be 4x minus 3. So the fact that I can use colors here helps me distinguish between using the product rule and the chain rule. But let's see here. As I use this chain rule, u prime will be using the product rule basically on x squared, u squared. So the 2 comes out front. I have this placeholder. It'll go down to an exponent of 1. Inside that placeholder, we'll put u, and on the outside we'll put u prime. So what do we get there? We get 2 times 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 to the first, which we really don't need the first, but we do need the parentheses. That'll be times 4x minus 3. Okay, so let's try and make a little bit more room for the v here. Come on, Mr. Eraser, there you are. I'm not going to put my efforts into cleaning up the u prime there, maybe when I rewrite it. But v we said was 5x minus 1 to the fourth. So once again, we can use a chain rule on that. So the u in that is 5x minus 1, so u is 5x minus 1. U prime will just be 5. So when I go to v prime, it'll be 4, the exponent coming out front, times the quantity raised to the third power where I decrease the power. So u goes inside, u prime goes on the outside, so that's 5x minus 1 on the inside and 5 on the outside. Now after all that, I have the 4 things I need for the product rule. I have u prime, v, and v prime. So let's put it all together. So y prime will be v, which was 5x minus 1 to the fourth, times u prime. Now I don't want to multiply all this out, so I'll just write it. 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. You can multiply it out if you like, times 4x minus 3. And then that will be plus, okay, I'm going to use another line, although it should be one big answer, plus, let's see, u, which was 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 squared, and then times the v prime, which looks like that's easy to clean up, 20 times 5x minus 1 cubed. Now I will move this up just a little bit. I got enough room there. Yeah. So let's put a little box around this guy. So you can see the big stinking derivative here. We got some freezing going on. There we go. So this is our derivative from the first one. Like I said, we could possibly do some cleanup, but just so that you can see everything in here, this first part here was the v, the u prime, you can look back up, the u, and the v prime. Okay, so it got pretty long there, but we were able to handle it. Alright, let's do this second example. So what do we got? We've got y equals the quantity of x, let's start over with that one. Y equals the quantity of 8x plus 1 cubed, and then that's times the fourth root of 9 minus x cubed. So let's do the same thing. Let's discuss a u and a v. So the u can be the first one here, which is the cube part. So let's just rewrite that. U equals 8x plus 1 cubed. We're going to go for a u prime. So let's just look at what's inside here. That will be my u, 8x plus 1. So if u equals 8x plus 1 for my chain rule, then the u prime will be 8. So when I decide to write out the u prime from the product rule, I will have basically u cubed, so the 3 will come out front. I'll have a quantity, it'll be down to the second power, and then I'll have u inside, and I'll have u prime on the outside. So that'll be 8x plus 1 on the inside and 8 on the outside, and I'll probably make that 24 a little bit later. Okay, then I'm going to identify the v, which I want to make green here in a moment. The v was the fourth root of 9 minus x cubed. So in that, when I write down the v, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it as 9 minus x cubed to the 1/4, because I know I want to use the power rule on it. Okay, so in that, I'm going to identify that I need a chain rule because there's something inside the 1/4 power. So that u for the chain rule will be u equals 9 minus x cubed. So u prime will be negative 3x squared. So when I go to write the derivative, v prime equals 1/4, and the exponent will go down to negative 3/4. And inside we will have the u that we have, and on the outside we'll have the u prime. So the u is 9 minus x cubed, and the u prime is negative 3x squared. So make sure that's times the negative 3x squared, not minus. All right, definitely need a little bit more room, so let me slide. Well, you probably want to keep that up there for a moment. Let's put this together. I know it's getting really long, but I like to try and keep it on one page for you. So we'll have v, which was 9 minus x cubed to the 1/4. That's the v. And we'll have times u prime, which will be 24 8x plus 1 squared. So that's the u prime. I did multiply the 3 and the 8 together. And then we'll have plus, u prime. U was way up top there. U is 8x plus 1 cubed. And that will be times v prime, which I'll go ahead and take the 1/4 and the negative 3 and make that negative 3/4 x squared times, I guess I can slide over to the side a little bit here without losing too much, times 9 minus x cubed to the negative 3/4. So in that case, that is the v prime. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing you can do to clean this up, but I'm saying that this is a step you have to go through to get your derivative, and anything else will kind of take a lot more time and also invoke a lot more mistakes possibly. So I'm just going to stop there with it, and if you want to go further, that's fine. Thank you.